treasure is revealed. Amazing.
These guys are the Fonts mining out in Mount Ida, Arkansas. They just had one of the most amazing claims. It's just video after video of this is an insane piece of crystal.
Yeah, that's it. Really, it's really interesting to me. I love the smiles on these guys' faces.
Well, I've mined my own crystals. When I was living in Atlanta, I would make a point to go out there every single year and mine my own stuff.
Yeah.
And when there was just no feeling like seeing those little points, like you saw on this one, just these little points sticking up out of this mud, right?
Yeah.
And as you're doing this and revealing it, I mean, it's just breathtaking. It really does.
It's amazing. Yeah.
As you just see these things coming out, it's like, this modern day treasure hunt. And tonight's card is the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands totally is about victory and acclaim and having success at your plan. Nothing could have minimized that more to me than this, man. I want one of these. Oh my God.
It's amazing. I watched this video when you sent it to me, and I couldn't help but the vibration that I got from it was that of like picking fruit, like the way he pulled that first piece off. It looked like a heart, but it was like I was almost like, oh, take a bite, like it's like it just had that vibration to me of that natural, organic.
Well, and those
bounty.
Crystals are so clear, and like the energy vibe that happens with them is so intense, and that's part of our show tonight. We're going to talk about crystals. It's my favorite six-sided thing.
Look at that crystal. Look at that thing. Holy crap. Oh God.
Man, double terminated, and like I would love to just get on top of that thing. Yeah, if you guys go scope out Avant Mining on YouTube, I mean, like it is just a crazy thing. What's up, Tammy? Good to see you.
I've never seen anything like it. Yes, hello Tammy, hello Janice, hello Jilly, hello everybody. Thank you for coming to the Fool's Journey. We are here a Monday night again, and on to victory, I see.
So, how's your week been going, Mr. Zen?
My weeks are always getting better. I think I'm definitely feeling like evolving, inwardly and outwardly, and so the journey becomes a lot easier. It becomes a lot more. It makes a lot more sense, and it makes more sense, but it doesn't need to make as much sense as I go on. If that makes any sense.
No, it doesn't.
No,
in case you were wondering.
It doesn't matter to me. It makes sense. And that's all that matters, right?
It's a sin.
How's your week going? I see you are glowing, and you are gearing up for some major stuff we were talking about.
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in my world for sure, and we're coming up on. Well, first of all, I was up in the mountains at Leo's place as spring happened. And that was just a really profound experience. And just watching all of those plants, there's nothing to me like the color of that bright electric green of the first little buds when they become leaves and they're like, yeah, give me sun. That has there's just such a distinct color to that. Totally. It's amazing. And we were right there. And we caught it right at the prime time when the red buds were blooming and the dogwoods were blooming, and like everywhere you looked, it was just life coming back alive. But it was still like with the backdrop of winter, with all the like the bare trees and stuff. That first moment where things were like, yeah, fucking back, bitches.
Sounds awesome. It sounds awesome.
And that's been a really kind of I've been trying to latch on to that theme for myself and rejuvenate and
cool.
regrow and
You
all.
definitely, it seems like you are. What's up, Celestial? Good to see you out there as well. And Jilly says, while it was snowing here, um, but you know, we had a pretty mild winter. I think I'm not going to complain, and I think it's supposed to snow again, but spring has definitely sprung. And
You
um,
know, expect nothing, be prepared for anything.
there you go. Exactly, exactly. It's a beautiful
Anything the
thing.
last few years has taught me is like you can't predict shit.
And to just let it be beautiful, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
So, have the flexibility to bend like a reed in the wind. Do the Bruce Lee thing. It's time to be like water.
I love that, Bruce Lee. Nice,
Yeah.
nice,
So
nice
I'm
reference.
super excited, man. This weekend is Fusion Flow here in Sebring. And it's a little mini like music fest, magic fest, energy fest, yoga fest. And and it's really kind of just a great reason for all of our friends to gather and get together and sell each other stuff and have fun. So
That's
all
awesome.
day we're gonna set up on Friday night, and then all day Saturday I'm gonna be reading tarot cards and
Awesome.
hanging out with people. And excitingly, we're gonna do some live streams, a
Yes,
special edition live stream on Saturday
it's gonna be
at
fun.
various times throughout the day. So, I don't know. I'll leave it up to the Zen master to
Yeah, yeah. You know what? If people want to see it, subscribe and put on your notifications, and when we go live, your phone will buzz, and you can join us and connect with us for the moment. You know.
Yeah, and I am so excited that Leah's going to be there doing a sound bath with the bowls and
Awesome.
selling crystals and
Is it
swag
all
and
weekend
stuff.
or just Saturday?
It's Friday night. The festivities will begin, and then all day Saturday, and then Sunday morning. There won't be like the vendors and that kind of thing, but there are going to be a lot of workshops. And Leah's going to do a sound bath,
Cool.
crystal bowl thing there, and there's going to be some yoga stuff, some belly dancing. I'm
Awesome.
going to do an energy. Kind of reprise the thing we did last week and expand that, and
Nice.
add the one of my favorite we'll have to get to this at some time. One of my favorite charge ups for doing projective work is called the Damo open palm technique, and it's kind of like a Tai Chi flow, right? And
Yeah,
it's
you
really
know,
designed to. Yeah, I
awesome.
think did I send that to you? I'm not sure.
I think you did, but I was going to say we got a lot of really good feedback and in doing a lot that live demo that we did last week, you know, and I think we should.
Well, we're going to do some more of that. I'm
Yeah,
really
yeah,
excited about that.
yes,
Yeah.
me too.
And the cool thing about the Damo, this is really great. Everybody thinks that Kung Fu is a Chinese thing, especially the Shaolin version of that. But
Mhm.
where that really came from was a guy named Damo, who was a Kshatriya Hindu priest,
Mm.
and went to China and took those warrior techniques there and taught the Shaolin monks, and
Wow.
that's how that actually began. Has grown from there. But this is a really super wonderful technique for like. I think Jilly's been working on it. Has had some good results with that. So
Moving energy, yeah, man,
yeah,
moving
we'll share
energy.
that. And to the point of last week's endeavor, where we were doing the banishing ritual of the pentagram, right?
Mhm.
I thought about that later, and I wanted to add one point of clarification to that before I forget about that. You know, the first part of that was gathering energy and charging up and pulling up that energy and having that fresh batch of stuff. So when we were doing the pentagram, I neglected to tell you that out of the palm of your hand, the center of the palm of your hand, you want to think about that as a ray of light, and you're coating that whole wall like floor to ceiling with
Mhm.
this like beam of light that you're creating from your palm and projecting out.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's a critical point that I left out that like I just take that for granted sometimes. So sorry. So
Y
you're doing that around the whole room, the
Mhm.
floor, and then the ceiling, and then that little spiral thing, boom, at the end closes that
Right,
off. You're
right.
all good in that zone. So just wanted to make sure that point
Yeah,
was.
no, that's, you know what, that probably would have made it even a little more intense. I definitely remember feeling, you know, feeling the energy, especially the collecting part and the squashing out, you know, all of the fear, all of that. I definitely felt some shit happening. For sure.
Well, the projecting out from your hand, um, you know, if you've collected enough juice and you've gotten it focused and your intent is clean enough, it's not just an imagination. You know, you're really
Yeah.
coating the wall with your energy and your
Awesome.
juice, and like sealing that place with you, so that
Right.
you have a safe space, man. It's like the ultimate safe space.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Fear
yeah.
banishment. I love it. It's definitely something we should do more for sure.
You know, one of the I'm getting ready to do a festival event coming up, and I'll be doing reading and light painting, but I also get a chance to do some speaking, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going to give a speech based around the fear banish scenario, and I'll be doing it as Braille. It's
Awesome.
a perfect way to like introduce that. Like,
Awesome.
yeah, it'd be
I
fun.
love to see the wizard spreading his wisdom. That's
Well,
awesome.
yeah.
That's it, man. Wisdom. WYZDOM. Wisdom.
So on to the six of wands. Before we get to the six of wands, you know, the name of the show is A Fool's Journey, right? And one of the main, you know, things that we did through the major arcana was to follow the fool through each card and each successive lesson and get that whole ritual of initiation, right?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't end with the universe. You know, at the universe, you're like, wow, I'm prepared. I've got a whole bag full of tools. I've got all the marbles. I'm ready to go. So what happens when you go? Well, that's what the minor arcana are for me. And that's what's been happening with the wands. So now we have a few cards kind of built up with that. I was going to go through like how that manifests out of there. So the
Okay.
fool is all like charged up. He's just graduated. He's like completed this massive epic quest. And he's like ready to go conquer the world. So what's he going to do with it? Sits around for a little while, boom, gathering some energy, and then boom, has an idea. The Ace of Wands. Boom, the burst of idea and the creative energy and to want to go do that. Boom, to the Two of Wands. Okay, that idea is now like an actual thing and it grows and it's at this point where choices need to be made and a direction needs to be taken and it's and which way you go to that, and then boom to the three, and the three, the baby has grown and it's taken on a life of its own and it's doing really well, and you're seeing this thing grow and this dream happen right before your eyes, and it looks like it's going to manifest in the biggest way. Then we boom, they get to the Four of Wands, and it's the celebration as everything has come to fruition, and then this little sphere that you've been in, you've now like succeeded to the max. Okay, so then we go to the Five of Wands, and now all of a sudden that has been pushed outside of that little cocoon of stability in the four. And now the competition is like really a lot more. There's a lot more of it. They're a lot better, and it's a lot more intense. But you go dive in and get there. So the Six of Wands is the victory after you've like taken on the competition. You've gone out, you said, fuck you to fear, and you like took on every challenge, and now that's come to fruition. And now it's victory. Now it's acclaim for your work. Now you're being recognized for what you have done and accomplished, and you're kind of in the spotlight as the hero of the day at the moment. So a pretty super cool card, would you say,
Yeah,
Mr. Sim?
definitely. I'm just writing down a couple of keywords here. Victory, recognition, hero. Cool. I love this card. What's this? Oh, the book.
It's a good one.
You're telling me, you're trying to tell me subtly that it's all written down in the book already. But you know what? When I write it down, I feel it.
No. Am I telling you something? No.
When I write it down, I feel it. I experience it. It's better for me to write it. Oh, you're great. Great recap. Thank you.
I love you, Zen.
I know. I love
You
you
know,
too, man.
that actually, seriously, with this, I wrote all the minor arcana things with this bent, with the Fool's Journey bent kind of in mind.
Okay.
Have you remembered any of that from the Major Arcana by any chance? Did any of that
Sure.
stick?
Of
You did?
course. Yes,
Okay.
of course. Of course. And I also remember this. I've been trying to put it into my own format, into my own story, and I just haven't yet. And I'm going to surprise you one day.
I will be surprised.
Yeah. You will be. That's right.
So, in keeping with the other cards that we've done as well, any questions on the Six of Wands? I mean, the Six of Wands is pretty straightforward. It's not like there's not a lot of hidden meaning to that. It's like
Um,
you busted ass, you
I
kicked
don't
it.
know. Well, before we go there, any correlation to mention Major Arcana 6?
Well, there is definitely a connection between the Lover's card and this card, in
Mhm.
that um, the Lover's card is all about choices and evaluation of a relationship.
Mhm.
And as much as the Six of Wands could be a victory about a specific thing that you set out to do, a business thing or something like that, it also could relate to a relationship, and the cards surrounding that would have an indication. And, what's the question to begin with would certainly have a bearing on that.
Right.
But there is definitely the correlation between the Lovers and the Six of Wands, and in kind of an abstruse way, also connected to the card, the 14th card, art, and the
Hmm.
Angel of Alchemy and Metamorphosis.
Hmm.
Yeah, the Lovers card and that card are definitely connected in many ways.
Let me bring up the Six of Wands.
Six of Wands, I really love this card.
Yeah.
And the person that's behind the wands, like if you focus on the wands, you see those. But if you look back behind the wands, like there's like such a person standing there.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. And just looking, arms akimbo, or
Yeah,
arms,
yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And the sword of victory there at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Do I have any questions about it? I guess last week I was thinking, it was getting good, and then the fives were, kind of a little but I was just
Well,
like, I didn't want it to get.
the fives represent a moment of when the stability of the smaller world where the four represented gets disrupted, and now that place is unstable. The six represents where that comes back to
Right,
stability, which is
right,
great.
right. So I guess I didn't have any questions, but it's like it makes me kind of, I don't want it to get too good because then it's going to start getting
Okay, well,
bad.
let's talk about the other sixes.
All right.
This is Six
Yeah.
of Wands. This is the fire card. This is all about energy, and this is definitely where the energy of the task has come to fruition, and that acclaim and those possibilities. That's not really, for that to be a prediction of actual manifestation.
Mhm.
That would need to be a pentacle. All of these represent energy, potential, and possibilities,
Mhm.
not necessarily
Material.
manifested
Right,
actions. Exactly.
right, right, right.
Okay. So we go from, well, first of all, the six in general in numerology represents beauty and love and a nurturing spirit of wanting to keep the home, and like the nest is super important to sixes. Yeah, and they are really about enjoying the beautiful things. Lots of artists are as well. Both of my numbers are sixes.
Mhm.
Actually, yeah. If you look at my numbers, I've got a 666 right in the middle of my numbers. So
Oh,
I think
wow.
I think someone else I know has that as well.
Oh.
Yeah,
Anybody I know?
yeah. Actually, they may show up later.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, so the sixth, in the vein of coming back to some stability, the Five of Cups was about cups getting knocked over and intentions and dreams and plans getting spilled and emotions being lost and broken, and having to regroup and look at the ones that were still there and not
Right.
spilled over and reattach to that.
Right. I remember
That's
that.
the moment of instability. Then you move from that to the Six of Cups, and that's a moment where it's a very nostalgic card. This is a card where you go back to your memories, the good memories, and you relive those again, the time when love was spilling over the rim of your cup. And yeah, really, really, this card really,
Appreciation, gratitude, acceptance.
yeah, exactly.
Yes. I love it.
And that moment of looking back and getting joy from that, you know, you have to be really careful with that, because you can want to dive into that and see that as a solution when all it is a momentary little sliver of goodness that you can hold on to for now, and then have to let go and move on into the future.
Right. What's up, J-Lo? We see J-Lo out there.
J-Lo, what's up? Woohoo! So the next card is the Six of Swords. And this card is really tricky, man. This card represents the moment where you've realized that your place of sustenance is no longer there, that it's dried up, where you've been eating and gaining nutrition and sustenance for your spiritual and physical life is no longer there. It might not be all completely dried up yet, but the awareness that you have to go look for something else is definitely there. And this, to me, this card represents the eureka moment where it's like, okay, I could do that. You know, so it's not just like this blind, empty, oh shit, what am I going to do now?
Like you know what you got to do.
Well, it's like this, like little, and it's not usually reasoned. It's usually this crazy out of nowhere, oh, wow, I could do that. I never thought of that before. This like eureka moment. Where it's
Revelation.
like, wow.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Julie's asking about sorry.
Yeah.
Julie's asking about the 6 and the 369.
Yeah, Tesla. Yeah, we're not going there yet.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off.
And then finally, the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles represents somebody, you know, the Five of Pentacles was like financial destitution, man. Like that was the woman walking outside in the cold, in the snow, bundled up, looking like a bag lady, looking into the window of an opulent house as the families gathered together to have this amazing dinner. And it's like this extreme of like have and have not kind of scenario. And that like you've just lost everything you've had of the five. Now you're like kind of sitting on the side of the road and somebody comes by with some cash and gives you some cash. It's here, man. You know, you look like you need a break. Here. And they can give it to you and it doesn't hurt them at all. They hardly notice. And it's a real boon for you, you know, and it's a momentary, you know, that's the thing about most of the sixes is they're not long lasting, you know, they're like, here's this explosion of the moment.
Yeah.
And then those move on, you know, and like for this, it's the moment where the guy comes along and you know, drop some coins in your cup, says, "Here, man, let's help you out," and then he goes on, and that's over, you know. And then you spent it, and now you have to move on to something else. So even though that sounds like really horrible compared to sitting out in the snow with no food, that's still like, wow, it's an improvement, and it's moving forward, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's your favorite six-sided thing?
My favorite six-sided thing, well, I mean, it would have to be the crystals that we were just looking at. I'm going to just close this out.
Crystals are high on my list.
Yeah, what's your favorite six-sided
thing? My favorite six-sided thing. My favorite six-sided thing is the hexagon that exists on the pole of Saturn that never goes away. Have you seen that?
No. I haven't seen
Yeah,
that.
I thought
Maybe
I
I
sent that to you. I'm sorry if I didn't.
I
Would
don't
you
think you did.
you could look it up
Hexagons.
really
I think
quickly.
this is
Hexagram on the pole of Saturn.
all right. Give me 1 second. I will get that right away.
Saturn is a huge planetary energy for me, and the fact that all of my numbers are sixes. I mean, the very first time I saw that image with this hexagon on the top of the pole of Saturn, it
Yeah.
just blew me away.
Wow.
Like, what?
Look at that. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, go to one of the gray ones where you can't really see how that sits on the planet.
Oh, you want to see the whole?
So grab one of the other ones. Yeah, that's
thing.
showing the structure. Like that second one up there, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Look at that. That's crazy. Look at that. Wow.
And it never goes away. And what causes that? And it's perfect. It never changes, man.
Yeah,
It's always
look
a
at that.
perfect hexagon. And
That's
what's
beautiful.
happening in some of those, like that image you first went to, there are storms that are swirling at the corners of that keep that in place.
Wow.
How does that happen, man?
That's
Man, there's a
amazing.
huge storm like right on the pole, like that little center right there. It looks like the center of the hurricane, the eye of a hurricane.
Yeah.
That's actually the pole of Saturn.
Wow.
So, like, what is
So it's
going
like
on?
perfectly aligned with the planet, and it's just wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Sacred geometry, right?
Yeah. Indeed.
Yes. X is Julie's favorite shape. Yeah, I feel like it's very related to, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, cymatics, the way vibration can arrange physical matter. I know you think I'm a wacko, but I think that
the hexagon is one of the most stable shapes, and Buckminster Fuller used that for the geodesic dome.
right,
And it's kind of a crazy over the top structure.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, so why don't we move on to crystals? And in that zone, one of my other favorite places out in Arkansas is a place called Ron Coleman Mine. Probably, if you've ever gone out there, that's one of the ones you've probably heard of the most. And they have a lot of kind of like tailings that they dig out and let people go through. But the thing that really excites me is when you get to see where they go and take the heavy machinery and take actual plates off the side of the mountain. You're looking at these cavities in the side of the mountain and these crystals that are just like, yeah, I'm gonna have to get a
we're in Ron Coleman's mine, and we're looking at a fantastic
paper bag because I'm gonna hyperventilate.
We've been Justin here has been taking some things out.
Imagine just coming across that, it's like
there's just like a whole wall
here, Justin.
like every one of those little dots is a giant crystal, and he's going to pull some stuff out here in a minute that's just going to what just happened.
That you're taking, you've taken that much out? Oh, how much more do you
and
think?
This is somebody's like land. Somebody owns this land, and it's specifically for mining, I guess.
Another 8 or 10, yeah.
Probably 2,000 or 3,000 pounds.
There's a lot of loose crystals just laying in this pocket. They look like they're terminated. Yeah, this is like a rehealed shard, right? Because this thing here.
Man, I want to go again.
And when you start finding a lot of those, that normally means it's getting close.
It's getting close to the bottom of the pocket. Because they fall into the bottom of the pocket.
Almost from earthquakes and
the
broke points and stuff fall.
Yeah. This is natural all the way around.
Really fascinating. Tammy is definitely a fan of crystals. I can see that.
Oh, she's got some good stuff.
Crystals here. They're just laying in the pocket. Really beautiful. Look at that. Oh yeah.
Look at those things.
That's what they call
even
a
that
shard.
is just like.
I know that's the trash. That's the junk.
Right?
Oh, are you kidding me?
That's the junk, right?
Right?
Let me pass you a few
Look
more
at those in
of these
that
here,
bucket
just-
right there. That's whew. They're like watermelons.
Here we go. Oh man. Oh boy.
Okay. Yeah.
Great. Googly moogly.
There we go. Whoa. Nice one.
Holy crap. Nice one. I would say.
That's a big one. It's blowing out.
This is a big one here. Oh, wow. Killer. Look at that.
Oh, please.
My name is Thomas Nagin, and I'm a mineral explorer.
Yeah, you are.
There we
Killer
go.
says it's a
Oh,
boy.
man.
It's a boy.
Yeah, spank it.
That's phenomenal. The earth is giving birth.
Oh, yeah. Look at this guy.
You know, there's such an energy there when you're doing it. It's like, oh,
You could, I feel it just watching it.
Big, beautiful,
so
perfect
ecstatic.
place.
I know. How can you not,
Nothing
right?
like it. Well, Justin, thanks for showing us around here. We appreciate it. We've had a great time down here. Hoping to come back again someday soon.
And the way it works, you
Let me
see
give
those
you this
big,
last guy here.
the big
And we're
white
gonna head up
section
top
he's
of the mine
standing by
here.
that just looks kind of like solid quartz.
Yeah, yeah.
Those veins of that quartz go along through the rock, and then at different places there's cavities in the rock, and then that fills up with liquid and mud, and then the crystals start forming on the sides of those walls of those
Wow.
cavities, and that's what they wind up digging down through and then opening up and breaking open. Pretty cool.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Must be such, you're just so connected to earth when you're doing that, you know, if it seems, you know.
So I'm going to grab a cup of coffee. Why don't you bring up a couple of those pages out of the grimoire,
Okay.
and we'll talk about those.
Okay, cool. I will do that. So Brian sent me some pages. Let me just get rid of these. Let me add this one back to the stream and close off some of these here. And where is that folder? There it is. You guys are listening to me talk to myself. So these are, whoop, I'm going to be, ooh, I just closed that window. I'm going to be putting these into a bunch of one window so I could share them all. And bear with me. All right, there's my window. And we've got one.
All right. Can we make that bigger?
Yep. Whoop,
This
on.
is on the surface of a small piece of amethyst. And one of my favorite things to do is take my crystals and just tilt them in the sun so that they pick up this highlight of light that rakes across just like the top of the surface of the crystal. And it like hits all the little indentions and imperfections, and you wind up getting this detail. Okay, all right, like right there in the center,
Mm-hmm.
to the right is a little black group that looks like they have little spears. It looks like a Roman army to me.
This right here? No.
Yes. I couldn't see where you're. Yeah.
This
That's
little,
exactly it.
okay.
Yeah, and if you look up over the top of that, go back to that view, Zen. Yeah, like over the top of that, it looks like these square kind of like building scenarios, and these rocks over here to the. It's like this whole scene, you know.
Yeah.
Whether that's what you see or not, you know, maybe there's a message there for you. So
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Like I've found that on a lot of my crystals where they have little pictures waiting for me.
Wow, that's really cool. I never even would have looked at it that way. That's totally cool.
So
I love that.
you know, give that a try.
Cool. Let's see what else we got here. Whoop.
Yeah, this is these are some pages out of my grimoire, and I thought we'd take. You know, I've really been fascinated with finding the different configurations.
Okay.
And what those things mean. Like the one that's you're looking at in the picture right now is this one.
Oh
And
wow.
it's one of my, yeah, it's one of my favorite ones because it has a bunch of different little window. You can't really see it on this one, but this it's it has a configuration of here. That's unacceptable. I need to be able to find it. Hold it.
Hold on, let me pop you up bigger. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, there we go. There we go.
yeah.
See that little diamond right there? Like right here. Right here.
Yes.
That is called a window.
Okay.
And that's one of my favorite indicators that something's going on with this crystal. And the window crystals allow you, if you have to be kind of getting able to get to a trance state and just be focused on that shape and wanting to go into the crystal and kind of merge with it.
Oh wow.
And once your consciousness kind of merges with it through that window, if it's a straight up perfect diamond, that usually relates to things that are happening right now and information that'd be really useful to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that they are crazily connected to time as well. And if
Wow.
that is skewed to the left, that's usually about things in the past, the distant, like really distant past.
Oh,
And
wow.
I've gone on some crazy explorations, you know, following some of those threads out of that, and vice versa. To the other side, if it's leaning to the right, that will give you information about things that are coming to the future.
Wow.
And things, when I first started learning this was about 30 years ago. And that was when I first started experimenting with the window crystal scenarios, right? So I wrote down a bunch of things that like I got as impressions back then that are just kind of now coming to fruition.
Oh wow.
Which is really kind of crazy. So in my experience, at least, and maybe this varies with different crystals. I haven't done like a super large sample of things to be able to tell you this happens in every time. You know, maybe this is just mine, but that both the past and the stuff in the future were not like near future stuff. That was like, it was distant, you know, it was decades, or like in the instant of the window crystal, that was 30 years. That's
holy moly. Wow.
Right? And the past stuff was ancient, like hundreds of thousands,
like
millions.
Past lives. Wow.
Well, not even my life, but so much more like what was in the world and what was going on there, and animal life and things that were happening at that time. Which
That's
was
crazy.
Yeah, crazy. So strongly encourage you to take a trip on those. The other thing, there should be a little example of a record keeper in that listing.
Okay. And it's labeled, it says record keeper?
It should be, yes.
Okay. So I see, yeah, I do see an image here, but it's going to be a little tough, but let's go for it. I don't know if
yeah, it's hard for me to see.
It's
that record keeper. There you go. That's the top one.
Yeah.
But you can't really. Okay.
Did something happen to it?
That'll do.
Okay.
In this particular crystal, it looks like there are layers and layers and layers of triangles, one on top of the other, right? Yep. Sometimes those happen as individual triangles, and they'll be really small and cover the surface.
Yeah.
And those are called record keepers. And when I first heard about those, I was like, well, what is that? You know, so I did the focus thing on those and checked that out. And I've gotten some pretty significant information from those. Just not so much about myself, but again, about the world, about energy work specifically, and about some astral travel kind of scenarios that were really kind of over the top. So that is a really fun thing to look at when you're going to buy crystals. You know, the whole thing of buying crystals online, I
Can't
mean, I
connect
don't
with
have
it.
any I don't have any issue with it like it's awful, but for me to go hold a crystal and hold it up in the light and look at the configurations on the end of the faces,
Yeah.
it makes a really huge
Yeah, I
difference.
would feel like you got to connect with the crystal to.
So, are you able to kind of shrink that at all so that you could look at some of the other categories?
Hold on, let me see if I. It's a combination of zooming and then also kind of like changing the window. No, that's not going to happen.
You're close, really
Yeah.
close.
Hold on.
Yeah, the self-healed crystals. Self-healed crystals are really kind of intense for actual physical healing, but super good for emotional healing layouts. And the great thing about that is that you can see where somewhere along the line in the growth of the crystal broke off, and there was a jagged edge where the crystal broke originally. But that was so long ago that it's healed over, and things have grown on top of that and covered that over. And that's called the self-healed and shard crystals. Super good, super, super, super good for any kind of healing work. The channeling crystal, the number 11, the one below that. Wow. That is a phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal configuration of crystals. And that's what this is. And it's a crystal where there's a diamond right in the center, as you can see in that photograph. And then on the side of it, there are two 8-sided or 7-sided windows that match. And then on the back of that, there's a pentagram window that matches.
Wow.
And what those crystals allow happening is for you to connect with entities on different frequencies really easily. It makes it really easy to increase your telepathic abilities and connections that you have with people already. If both of you have one of these at the same time, it can be almost like talking on the telephone, which is really, really, really great.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, so scroll on down, Isis crystal, you'll see those. Is there any way for me to make these available to our crew here? These
we'd have to put them on a server somewhere, and then I could put a link, on the video. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's consider that. Okay.
Yeah.
This phantom crystal, one of my favorite versions, man. And as a matter of fact, there's that very crystal.
Wow.
And what's neat about that, you could kind of start to see the layers in there already. I need to get better at my puppeteering.
So you made this guide from your own collection. That's awesome.
I did. Some of them I don't have, but most of these are all my own. Like the Isis crystal is mine, the record keepers are mine. What makes this a phantom crystal and what makes it super special, as you can see in the center of the crystal, is kind of it's like sugar, and it's the outline in exactitude of the top of the crystal where it's manifested already. And many times there are many, many layers of that. And what those are usually about are past life scenarios and going back through layers of conditioning, anything where you're digging through layers of learning and multiple frequencies of things. This is a really super, super useful crystal, in addition to just being absolutely beautiful. I love these crystals very much. The very first place I went to go mine, I don't know if they're still working. It was a place called Robin's Mine, and they were really famous for doing for having black phantoms. So you get this, like, instead of that phantom being white, it would be this really dark hematite. And super beautiful, and they were known all over the world for that. So they would come through with their big machines, and they'd like dig out chunks of the mountain like you saw on that Coleman mine thing, right? And if they were black if they were finding black phantoms, they'd stay with that. If they weren't, they'd move on somewhere else and then allow other people to come in and buy some time to like spend a day there and go dig where the machinery had revealed stuff that you could never get to on your own.
Right.
And that was a trip and a half. Yeah. All right, scroll down. Let's find a couple of more goodies. Yeah, the Dow crystal. Yeah, there's the Dow crystal there, man. The Dow crystal. Wow. Can you read that one?
It says a crystal with 3 primary 7-sided faces and 3 secondary triangular faces between them. It is believed this crystal is a combination crystal that incorporates the properties of both a channeler, a transmitter crystal, and a transmitter crystal in one. It helps facilitate intuitive awareness and connection with all that is. It is considered one of the 12 master crystals.
It's a goodie.
Powerful teaching. Yeah. So you have
and
that
the way
one.
You recognize the Dow crystal is that when you look at it from the top, it's equal sides all the way around. There are 3 sides that match exactly, and then the small little in-betweens match exactly as well.
So let me see that.
Symmetrical all the way around.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, really cool.
That's awesome.
It's very, very special. Yeah. My teacher gave me that, actually. Who has been watching our show, by the way? He busted me out on some stuff the other day, man.
Oh, yeah? He was calling you out?
Yeah. Well, no, not busting me. He just like mentioned a couple things that made it glaringly obvious he's been scoping us out. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And by the way, swag.
Yes. So
oh man, I'm so stoked. Yeah. Like, oh yeah. A whole tapestry here. We got one of the light painting portraits, and like it's so fun to see them actually like be some 3D thing that you can actually touch now. Yeah.
It's definitely amazing. Hold on a second. I think you
Tammy, you got a favorite? You have a favorite crystal?
Let me just see something. You gave me a link earlier. Oh, here it is. I'll bring this one up. So this has kind of become the official swag. This 10 of Pentacles. I think this is the towel that Jilly has.
Yeah.
The towel that you have. Let me put this link in.
Well, that's a towel, but all those other things, man, you can get it on anything.
Right. You could get it as a canvas. You can get, I mean, it's the artwork that's so amazing, you know. So it's cool that you can get it in all different formats. Let me see, 7 banners.
It's really fun to have it available for people to be able to get to. They've been sending me some pictures and like, woohoo!
Yeah, totally. So that's a little bit much, but I'm going to put it on the bottom there if you can get that URL. It's actually all English. There's not like code or anything, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to getting some of this art for myself as well. Whoop. Let me go back to that. There we go.
So pretty stoked about that, you know.
Yeah. Awesome.
And I'm really stoked about the whole the Flow Fest thing coming up this weekend. It's really going to be a nice run through. Lee and I are getting ready to do a number of events and festivals, and this will be kind of our safe little less practice.
I'm so excited for you.
Next one will be in a few weeks at Earth Fest down here as well.
That's awesome.
That'll be a real festival, actually. That's the one where I'm going to be doing speaking as well, which
I love that you're doing speaking, and like soon enough you'll be the master of ceremonies. You know, it'll be awesome.
Yeah, I want to make that speaking thing like more of a thing. I think that would be a fun way to get out and earn a buck.
Yeah, you know, I think you have a lot to share and a lot to offer to people. So hopefully that happens. I think it's already happening. That's what we're doing here. So
yeah, on our Wizard of Oddcast.
I love it. Well, I think we could certainly wrap it up and look forward to this weekend. Spontaneous Wizard of Oddcasts.
Well, we still have just a couple of minutes, so let me do a
Sure.
quick little card pull and
Yeah,
just see
let's do it.
what's happening here. Yeah.
Let's do it. And Julie says, "And you have a great voice. Besides the wisdom behind it."
Wow, that's an intense little reading, man. Holy crap. Okay. It's the Sun, the Ten of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. Any desire to take a swipe at that, Mr.
The
Zen?
Sun, the Ten of Swords,
Yeah.
and
the Ace of Pentacles.
That's good. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So the sun's like extreme goodness and success in every direction. And anytime you're doing a 3, most of the time the 3 represents immediate past, present moment, immediate future.
Okay.
So immediate past would be the sun, this extreme like success. Present moment would be the 10 of Swords, where you're dead. Like the swords have fallen, you're dead. It's killed it. It's like some way of being is like over, finished. And that's the present moment. And then the Ace of Pentacles says the beginning of a brand new like chunk of business, man.
Okay.
New way of being, new way of things manifesting for you, and usually represents some goodness as far as financial, business, those kinds of things. Those are always really good. So kind of a crazy intense reading of extreme success, death, and a new beginning.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's always appropriate. You know what I mean? It always seems to just.
That's because it's magic.
It always makes sense. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else out there resonating with that reading? I think that was a nice reading. I think it's the energy.
There we go. All right. Well, then it won't just be next week. Then it'll be over the weekend. We'll be live from Fusion Flow.
Expect some spontaneous wizardry for sure.
Exactly.
Excellent. All right, buddy. Well, I will see you this weekend, and
awesome.
Everybody else, I will see you guys this weekend. Hopefully you'll put your notifications on so that when we pop up, you're there. If not, we're going to pop up anyway. So you might as well be there. You might as well and enjoy it in the moment. You could always watch the replay, but I'm sure the live will be more fun. Awesome.
Exactly.
All right. Well, until next week, take care of yourselves, and we'll see
you guys. Thanks again as always. See you soon.